I don't have to worry about this. We're not streaming. Everyone dies a horrible death. Rocks fall, and I am done with everything. Screw all of you. Anyway, Reverence, what happened last session?
Right. Last session started with quite a lot of talking and dialogue. Eventually, through conversations, we had a member of the guild depart. They are no longer part of Shield of the Outcast. We then had a few other conversations. I know that, among other things, we discussed tactics, plans, getting supplies still at this point, and then we also had a couple conversations with Sophia, where a lot came out. The Consiego forest is magic. The wood itself has magic properties, and that's awesome. The Iridians allegedly went in there seeking the idolic core of inquisitiveness. And I hope I'm not getting any of this wrong. I think Scarlet said he found it. That might not have come out this time. I just have that in my notes.
That was never confirmed, but sure.
Okay, maybe not. Ignore that last part. What else? Iridians, anybody born under the rule of the Five are cursed, for they are fallen celestials, unable to return to the heavens, and thus the heavens cannot accept them. They found loopholes to allow the source of their powers to grace their subjects by leeching divine magic off of other things. Team Bunny then set off. There was a ghost staring at a burned or burning building where we determined children used to reside. We found who we think their captors were and attacked them, and that's where we are now.
Is there anything anyone would like to add? In that case, there's the dripping of water all throughout this cave. You can hear it constantly going by. Getting in wasn't too difficult. Getting out won't be too difficult, especially with the corpses now rotting in front of you. The larger creature, slain, slumps off to the side. The smell of death is immediate after a few seconds go by. But as the haze of battle fades, you notice the cage in the background with two definitely humanoid creatures. Their bodies smaller, not in the way of a child, not in the way of a smaller folk, but in the way of a child. Both of them unconscious, but clearly breathing inside these metal cages in the back. What would you like to do, party?
How strong does that cage look?
Made of metal.
I would like to rip the bars open, please.
Roll me athletics.
As you're getting ready, Six is like, Navali, be careful, they've been beaten.
I would like to do it carefully.
No, roll me athletics.
I also have thieves' tools.
Wait, what?
Yes!
But Big Bunny. I know why you have thieves' tools. You may use them if you prefer.
What do I use the thieves' tools with?
Well, first of all, you look for a lock, and there is one off to the side.
Okay. I think she would be, like, ready to, like, you know, pull the bars. But then, seeing the lock would be like, oh wait, I think I could do this. Sorry, what would I roll the thieves' tools with?
Dexterity. It doesn't take you too long. This might be something you haven't practiced in several months, but You know you've had to do this before in your past. It's not too difficult. It's like riding a bike. You position the two pins very carefully, feel around for the tumbler, push, pull, twist, and the lock falls off. There's a small cage door that you can easily pull open without requiring insane muscles now.
Hmm.
The two children inside are still very clearly unconscious and do not react to the squeaking of metal as this happens.
Navali is going to go up to them. She's gonna examine them, and I guess look for any signs of like immediate healing needed, if that makes sense.
Roll me medicine. It doesn't look like anything's life-threatening. That is an immediate relief to you. You do notice several bruises and cuts, especially in the higher area that around the head. That makes it look as if, oh, it probably looks worse because they had cuts on their head, thus blood everywhere.
Mhm.
But they're physically fine, or will be once they wake up. You don't notice any abnormalities in their breathing or heartbeats. You're pretty sure you could pump a little bit of healing into them if you wanted to wake them up now, though you can decide how good of an idea it is to wake them up when they're surrounded by corpses.
Yeah. I think Navali would maybe call Six over to help her carry the kids.
Sure.
Carry one of the kids.
I'll carry one of them.
And then Navali will carry the other one and suggest that we head out of the cave.
They're not heavy. You have no issues. I will ask, do you simply head out?
Yes.
If there is no objections, you leave the cave, two children in hand. It's a bit of walking, but you remember the way. And all of you have dark vision. There's no issues. You follow the water, you climb back out. It's been 5, maybe 10 minutes. They're still unconscious in your arms, but as the sun hits your eyes, you know you were not down there very long.
I think it would be best if we set up camp perhaps on the road and have a warm meal available for them when they wake up.
How far away is that house? Do any of you know?
Correct me if I'm wrong out of character, Skern, but I feel like we only traveled for about an hour.
Uh, so you spent like 3 hours looking for this place.
Hmm.
Because you had to kind of look very carefully around, I will need a survival check to figure that out.
Okay. I will suggest somebody else do it. Oh wait, we had this thing happen right last time. Nobody is trained in survival.
Correct. None of you are trained in survival.
Tushiki, a city boy.
I mean, yeah, I got a +1 in it, but I'll do it again if nobody wants to go for it.
Navali, you have no idea where the house is. Everything looks the same in this forest.
I do not know the lay of the land. I apologize. We could just keep going in that direction, but I don't know how long it would take us.
Yeah, I didn't know if, like, that spirit needed to see them, or... How do ghosts even work?
Navali shrugs.
Would anyone like to roll religion?
Not Arcana?
Oh, Arcana.
Okay. Because I feel like this is the kind of thing that Tsushiki might actually have some ideas in. I've got. There you go. Arcana.
You know, this makes sense. There's so many myths of ghosts and spirits in the Vale. And oftentimes, the reasons that a spirit lingers is either through necrotic bindings or unfinished business. And judging by the state of where you left the spirit, the unfinished business would have had to do with the children.
Mhm.
You're almost positive from every story that you know, the spirit doesn't need to see the children. The children just have to be safe. However, if you want to be absolutely sure, you instead of bringing the children there, you bring a piece of the child there. Not like a piece of their flesh, one of their belongings, and bury it in the ground where
Sir.
they die.
We've rescued the child. Let's chop off its finger. No.
That's why I clarified immediately. You do know from especially experience that it is a good idea in general to send some kind of sign to the spirit.
When we had a chance to like look at the kids, did they look like they had anything else on them?
They have clothes. To be clear, you never investigate to see if they have anything actually on them. You're just carrying kids with clothes on them.
Gotcha.
Do you want to see if they have anything on them now?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe we should wait until they wake up.
Sure, we could ask them about it.
Um uh do we at least remember how long it took us to get back into town? Or back, like, how far we traveled away from town?
You only left town like 3 hours before you reached these woods.
I don't think it would be safe for us to have them with us on the rest of the journey through the forest. We do know there's a town back there, and perhaps we can get them some help. We could start heading back now and take a rest.
I was thinking something similar. It would be very dangerous if we were to bring them into your homeland. But I think we should return to their house.
All right. We can perhaps maybe explain, or maybe they can give us some more answers. But I would very much like to give them as much rest as they need.
Hey, can I weigh in on this? Says an invisible voice.
Oh, hello, Crow. Yes.
So that house had body parts of what I'm assuming their parents are? Are you sure you want the kids to see that?
Not that part.
If it helps, at least in Vel culture, when a spirit is disquieted, it simply needs a token of some kind to soothe it. If I'm correct, it wouldn't necessarily need the children. Just something to show they're okay.
What if, when they wake up, we ask them if, like, there's something they have on them they'd want to give to their dad, and then we can take that back.
I think that would be a good idea. But perhaps let's start heading back into town. That way we can find a safe place for them to stay.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe reconsider the phrasing on that. It implies that their father might still be around.
Yes.
How old are
Fun
these
fact,
kids?
Fushigi has charisma 20. What the fuck?
He's a sorcerer. So, I suppose I'll be clear as the DM. These are furbolgs, and none of you have interacted with furbolgs before. So knowing their age is complicated. But I'll allow either a history or medicine check.
May I roll history?
There's no volunteers, go for it.
All right, I'm
Go for
spending a superiority die.
6 and her superior history.
19.
So you don't quite know exactly how their race ages or exactly how quickly or let's say you don't know the exact years, but you know teenagers. You get the feeling one of them's probably the equivalent of 13, maybe, and the other one's closer to 7 or 8.
This one's a little older than the other. I agree that bringing them to the house is not a good idea, but I think it's important, if they don't already know, that they're aware. Maybe the older one. Like, it's gonna suck, but it's better than lying.
Tsushiki nods along with this. I was never implying otherwise, just that perhaps we should break it carefully. Death is not always easy.
Yeah.
Well, I will ask, do you start trying to head back to town from your memory?
We get to the main road first, and then we walk back.
So I will preemptively let you know there is no failure on this. It's just how quickly you find the main road. I will need another survival check.
Is there anybody who's a
Mega!
plus? Does anybody have a +2? For survival.
I don't know which stat that is. I don't have a sheet like that.
Wisdom.
Memory
need to
serves,
have it.
survival's wisdom.
I am untrained and have a -1 wisdom.
I have a +2.
You should go for it. I only have a +1.
Hiya.
Yeah.
You all talk about finding the main road. Navali looks around confused and really just walks in a direction. About 20 minutes later, you get out of the woods and can see the road.
Woohoo.
Woo. Easy peasy.
All right, so we start heading back into town, and if it gets too dark, we will settle down for the night and go from there. How does that sound?
Sure.
All right. We do that?
You begin to follow the road back. It's not particularly difficult. After about 10 more minutes go by, Crow stops being invisible and has been walking beside you this entire time. Not that any of you weren't expecting that, just I have to point that out. And funny enough, doing some rolls in the background, the children are still unconscious as you begin to see the town in front of you. As a reminder, this town is small. There's only a handful of buildings. You remember when you first arrived, it's so small, it's definitely less than 100 people. It's definitely a place that is mostly built around people who forage and the inn itself. Also, the manor on the hill that you definitely don't want to take them to.
I think we should wake them up before we go into town.
I agree. Perhaps we have some food available if they should so choose to have some.
Skern, do I know what furbolgs eat?
You've never met a furbolg, so I'm going to say no.
Dang it.
Navali will set the child that she is carrying down, and give both the kids 10 lay on hands each.
Okay. Could you roll me medicine? You are capable of understanding when there's only so much healing that can be done
Oh, okay.
physically. They have a max of 4 HP.
Oh. Okay, then I give both of them 5 points each to cure anything that might.
It's still overhealing. That's fine.
Hoping to see if my my lay on hands thing also kicks in if they.
That requires choosing to remove a condition. You can't heal and remove a condition.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what kind of condition they have.
You don't. You
Okay.
could decide to do that first and heal after if you want.
Yeah. Can I do that for both of them first?
Sure.
And then I will do I'll do 8 points of healing in total for both of them, as in like 4 on one and 4 on the other.
Makes sense. You heal them both. Their scratches and bruises fade away very quickly as the divine healing goes, and they start to stir. The older one, you can see, stirs a bit more. His eyes flutter for a second, and then you can tell he's trying to figure out if he's in any danger before he acts. Sees a bunch of unfamiliar faces, and then stops stirring again, as if pretending to stay unconscious.
It's all right. You're safe now. Do you understand me?
I know how to speak.
My name is Navali. Can I have your name too?
Airhorn.
Could I get that in the chat screen? Airhorn. How are you feeling? Is there any place that hurts?
No. Yes.
Would you like something to eat?
You can see him look around and notice the other one who is stirring and being quiet, very clearly also very shaken, simply not speaking. But the moment he notices the other one there, I'm hungry.
Navali will take out some of her rations. Do you prefer veggies or do you prefer some meat?
I never thought I'd have to roll to see if which one a child prefers. One moment, please.
Vegetables.
I don't have a lot of. I've never had much meat, but I liked it when I tried it before.
Could I have some meat rations, please? Navali will say to the group.
Bro, we have so much fish.
Navali will ask for a fish.
You hand him a dried fish. What Six said is so incredibly true.
Here you go.
The first thing he does, he takes a very small bite out of it and chews it, then looks towards the other small child, takes a bit off, and offers him a piece, and they start sharing it very quietly amongst each other, still very clearly confused, concerned, and not sure what to do. It looks like they are both kind of on the verge of crying, but not being sure if it's safe to cry.
There's plenty of food for you to eat. Don't feel shy about having any. And Navali will ask for another fish to hand to them.
You feed them 2 bits of Vidi's fish. She doesn't stop you. I mean, Vidi, I assume you don't stop them.
No.
They devour it. They still look very shaken, and they are looking at you with looks of concern. Still shaken. Um, where are we?
Do we know the name of the town? I forgot.
Don't think you ever asked for it when you went in originally.
We're not far away from town. We found you in a cave, and it seemed like you were taken by some not so good people.
I remember them. You rescued us?
Yes.
So you're heroes.
Navali kind of gets a little bit of a flustered look at that. We had to make sure you were okay. Are you thirsty? Can I get either of you some water?
They both very quickly nod.
Navali will grab out some water and give some to them.
You can tell they're still very nervous and shaken by the ordeal. But Navali, you've experienced the whole barely eaten, barely drank anything, and then being offered things, carefully going, oh, are they just going to let me have this? And slowly drinking and eating more and more.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they have not been being treated well. And with your earlier medicine check of when you were just realizing that, they don't have that much max HP, they were definitely probably in the custody of those orcs for at least a day or two and not eating or being fed at all. Malnutrition hasn't kicked in, but you can tell they were very hungry.
And Navali's just gonna still continue to give them space and like, eat and drink whatever they need. But she's giving the aura that she doesn't want to like push anything out of them.
After a few minutes go by, I'll ask, is there anything else people are doing?
Are you waiting nearby, trying to look unthreatening?
I do want to piggyback off what Navali's agreed with about us being heroes.
Sure.
As they're sort of waiting, Six affirms, yeah, those people weren't very nice, but they're not going to be able to hurt you again.
What did you do to them?
Told him to stop. Beat him up.
Just beat him up?
Oh no. Don't worry about that too much.
Navali, roll insight. It's okay, the insight wasn't very high. It's just a DC 10. I'm going to whisper you something.
Mm-hmm. She'll kind of looking at the into the child's eyes and hearing what Six is saying, she will put a gentle hand on the kid's shoulder. They are never going to hurt you again. They have been dealt with. You will never have to worry or fear them again. I promise it. I promise on my own self and everything I stand for. They are gone, and you will never see them again.
Persuasion. You can definitely tell that they are still very nervous about the fact they have no idea who you are. The words are comforting in a way, but in that way of you can almost feel that they know you're trying to comfort them.
I think Navali definitely understands that. There's only so much you can say. And she'll take her hand back. I know a lot of this is very confusing, and I'm sorry for what happened to you, to both of you. We're going to take you into town and see if maybe we can find a nice place for you to stay for a while.
There's a small nod on his head. as if he understands what you're trying to say and at least understands the implication of there's nowhere else for him to go at the moment.
Hmm.
The younger one seems more confused, but is just hiding behind the older one.
There is. Oh, sorry.
Oh, good.
No, you go for it.
Is there sort of apprehension at not knowing who we are visible? Like, is that something that can be intuited easily?
Extremely, yeah.
Six sort of has the posture of like she wants to add to that or say something about that as Navali is dealing with him.
Yeah, no, Navali's not gonna. She's gonna say, "Go for it."
We're a guild from Dulveran. It's a couple weeks away. We're called Shield of the Outcast. We go around helping people who need help. Normally, we fight big monsters, but we heard that you were hurt, and so we wanted to step in. See? She takes out her badge.
Navali will also show her badge.
You fight big monsters?
Yeah.
Like the big green thing with huge, weird arms?
Yeah, and even bigger, too.
Persuasion.
I'm gonna spend a superiority die.
You can spend a superiority die if you want to.
$21.
You can see both their eyes going wide at the idea of something bigger than that? How was that even possible?
It's true. One time we were in the desert and we fought a giant monster goat, and its chest was a mouth. She makes like a little, puts her hands like a mouth on her chest and makes a little chompy motion.
The younger one suddenly speaks up. What's a goat?
They're normally like these cute fuzzy animals with horns, and they go on farms.
There is a look of understanding that is very clear of everything you said makes sense. There is no way they understood what a goat actually looks like. Very clearly, with the idea of you fighting giant monsters, you have calmed them down. And we're going to cut away from the fact that I don't want to be a child for about 3 hours of role playing them because I'm bad at that. And give a little bit of a wave in the idea of they are much calmer. And you manage to explain the basic situation, especially with a 21 persuasion. 6, I'm going to tell you what I already told Navali here. They know their parents are dead. Part of the reason they became more apprehensive when he's just said beating them up is you could see anger and just despair in them.
Gotcha.
And when you talk about giving a token to their father, you realize they don't have anything on them beyond their clothes. The older one kind of tears a bit of his sleeve off and hands it to you.
I think this will be good for him to see. Skern, I know we've only been through that town like twice. Are there any clothes shops at that town?
I have no idea.
I think maybe while the kids maybe are like talking to themselves, Navali will take a moment to pull the group aside I want to give them some money and again make sure that they have a nice place to stay at for a bit, for a while, preferably. I don't know how long it will take, but we will probably have a. Well, wait. How late in the day is it, Skern?
2-3 hours back, probably like 4 p.m.
I'm unsure how long this would take, but we might be getting on the road a little bit later.
Sure.
But-
Six pulls out 2 gold pieces.
All right. Let's go into town a little bit and try to find them someplace. And you said there was an inn, right?
There is an inn, yes.
Okay. And is there a clothes shop or anything?
Let's have you roll investigation. This
Okay.
investigation might warp the very fabric of reality.
Could somebody that's not Navali roll investigation? Because I have a -1 in it.
Do you know who might be good at investigation?
Tsushiyuki.
Yeah. I'm gonna roll investigation. Let's go.
Dang.
Not Tushiku's so good at this.
You go into town being told, okay, we might need to find a clothes shop. There's the inn there. These are a bunch of homes. They're a bunch of homes. There's a blacksmith. That's not clothes.
It's a kind of clothes.
Nope. There's no tailor here. There's no
Metal
tailor.
clothes.
There's technically someone who is willing. There's a butcher who is willing to create leather, but you quickly realize that no, there's no place to buy and sell clothes. They seem to just make it themselves.
Tushiko reports back that apparently this town is a little too small to have a properly developed commercial district of any kind. But perhaps, maybe we can ask some locals if they have any old cast-offs.
I think that would be a good idea. I can maybe walk around and do that. In the meantime, would it be all right if somebody go check with the hotel, or not the hotel, the inn, the hotel, the 5-star hotel?
Yes, let's put these kids up in luxury. Let's go.
Go see the inn. While Navali goes and asks around town.
Now, I'm going to do something just to keep this in some brevity so we don't go through the entire housing these kids step by step. I don't think it's actually necessary for once. 3 questions.
Yeah.
1, do you explain to any of the townsfolk who these kids are?
Ooh, I think Navali might suggest that be a good idea.
I agree.
Question 2, how much gold are you willing to spend?
Navali's willing to give at least 5 gold of her own money.
Question 3, who's willing to roll base persuasion?
Don't even have it skilled.
Listen, you have a paladin.
I do have a +6 in it. So I can do the base roll.
Throwing this out there, Toshiyuki, you have a +5 still.
Could Tushi
Yeah,
give me
true.
advantage?
No, he doesn't have it trained.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I guess Tushiko, here we go. I forgot that I can just fucking roll car because it's based out.
Yep.
Go for it.
Let's go. Watch me roll crap again. Oh, no, never mind.
Hell yeah.
That was almost a crit.
Tushiyuki, when given basic directions, you understand how this works. You've had to deal with refugees before, you had to deal with orphans before. You know how to get people to go, hey, these children need a home. Can you take care of them for a bit? And as you go to the inn and explain the situation to the innkeeper, who is a fiery looking male tiefling, who kind of goes, huh. Oh, yeah, no, they used to get herbs for us. All right. You work out a deal with him of he's going to put them up for a few months, especially with the gold you gave him, and try to see if they're willing to do some work, and if any merchants come by, if they're willing to take them to a better place. But if not, they might be working for the inn, but at least they will always have a place to sleep.
Tushiyuki has a moment of thought and then goes back to Navali. Excuse me if I'm being presumptuous, but do you not patron an orphanage back in Delveron? I remember Karito mentioning it.
Yes, we do. I actually was perhaps thinking maybe on the way back we could offer to take him to the orphanage.
Karito smiles. Not Karito, Tushiyuki smiles. That was exactly my thoughts, yes.
When you're explained that you'll pick them up again, it makes them go, oh, okay. No, we can just keep these rooms here for that much gold, and takes the 5 gold away.
Hold on. What's insight? It's int, isn't it?
Insight was wisdom.
A whiz, okay. Oof. Yep, that's totally fine. That's how much those rooms cost.
And they will be promised food, yes?
Food, water, and if they really need, well, let's just say the shelter, food, and water will always be here for the next 2 months.
Thank you.
Afterwards, if you don't come pick them up, we might have to make sure they're doing something for us. Can't patronage, coin, you understand.
Of course. I apologize. Was somebody about to say something?
When we walk away, I want to grab Navali.
She will, before they leave, she'll I think we probably might have explained to the kids that there's an orphanage back from where they're from. So I assume that that's probably already been talked about with them.
Probably not, but you can explain that as you get the inn settled in.
Yeah. So she'll say that and offer it up to them if they when they come back, if they would like to do that. They have time to think about it.
They definitely seem extremely unsure, but
Mhm.
at the same time, they seem unsure about everything at the moment.
Yeah. She'll basically explain it was you have time to think about it. It's I just wanted to offer to you. And then she'll wish them the best of luck and start going to meet back with her team.
You regroup. So to be clear, it probably would take 2 hours to get all of this done. So it's probably about 6 p.m. Sun is cresting down and definitely about to become evening. Go ahead, Six.
1, 6 palms 2 gold pieces at you, Navali. I was gonna pay, but you beat me to it.
Thanks.
2, I don't think the orphanage is a good idea.
You don't think so?
No, that place sucks, Navali. You are the best thing about it.
The orphanage could be better, yes.
It could be a lot better. It's dirty. Those kids don't have enough food or the right clothes. We're the ones taking care of them. With the money for the food that we paid for, the person who owns that orphanage doesn't do shit for them. Okay? I've only been there 3 times. but that's the read that I've got on it. Here, like, the inn's okay, but they could get employment. They could go somewhere. And Dolveran's dangerous.
Perhaps if they do decide that they want to come with us, I will explain more to them about the risk.
Hey, I don't think it was bad to make the idea. You're looking out for them, right?
I'm trying to. I understand what it was like to go through what they did.
She nods.
But you're right, there is a lot of things that the orphanage could improve on.
I was excited when we were going to get it. Like, oh, we can make real change. But now, I don't know.
It will be interesting to see if we can actually get the deed. I want to make that place better.
Yeah.
But there's somebody in the way of that right now. But that's a future problem. We've got a lot right now.
You know the orphanage better than I do. So all I'd ask is that you think about it while we're on our journey. What I don't want is for those kids to go to Dolveran and get caught up in gang violence.
Yes. You're right.
Oh no.
Huh?
Oh, Navali. Six like tries to hang off of you. Navali, I sound like my mom. Oh no.
It's okay, Six. Sometimes I feel like I speak too much like my father.
She has her hands out in front of her. She's just staring at her palms with a look of like existential dread.
It's okay, Six. And Navali pats Six's back. We'll get through this. We'll get through this moment.
I'm
Navali, could you run a
Yes.
perception?
Yes.
So, to be clear, ever since Six got that gun, a very small mixture of a cat and a dragon has been following her around, oftentimes just off to the side, in this case on top of a building, ethereal as all of them always are. You physically see it roll its eyes.
Navali is going to lean in and be close to Six's ear and whisper, I don't think your mother liked that comment.
Where is she? I look around for the creature.
You can't see it.
She's right behind you. She rolled her eyes.
This is fine. This is fine. I'm gonna do what I do best. When something gets stuck in my head, I'm gonna do something completely unrelated.
And what's that?
Start marching back to the house.
I think that's a good plan.
So you know getting back to those woods is about 3 hours journey. You will have to go after the sun has gone down, but you can do so if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't really think we probably would stay in town.
Sure.
I should have asked this a long time ago. I assume Mira has been following us the entire
Yeah,
time.
Mira's been with you the entire time.
Okay.
Like, just for clarity, if it helps, she waited outside the cave, but when she got out of the cave, has just been following you.
Yeah. I would assume we probably keep walking until it's too dark.
You all have dark vision. Too dark is when you get too tired.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. So probably at least like 9 or something, 9 or 10.
I will ask this, Six. Do you try and find the house in the night, or do you try to camp first?
Camp first.
Okay. You walk for a few hours. I'm going to correct myself. There is technically a cohort who does not have dark vision, and it's Crow. But she just keeps a hand near your deer, who's warming up slowly. A few hours go by. You get down the road until the point where you can no longer see the town behind you. And you go off to the side. She creates a little box for everyone to go inside. Mira goes off, lays down. You prepare for a long rest. Long rest work at this point.
Watch 2.
Yay! I like to think that this one they all just like draw straws. Like Navali and Six are just old hands in it. And they just like get out a bunch of like grass stems and go around, and Tushika's just like mildly baffled but does it anyway because it seems like it's something ordered and normal. So it goes along with it.
Fair enough. Anything people would like to do before you start your watches?
Tushika's gonna cook some delicious fish.
It is dried fish. You basically add spices and warm it up.
Yeah. Probably smells really good.
It does. In fact, it probably makes Vidi return.
You
Was
had
Vidi
left.
missing again?
Yes.
Navali's gonna just have to like keep an eye on Vidi. Or wait, okay, actually, no, Navali's gonna pull Vidi aside maybe when we're sitting down.
Vidi, you return because you smell the food. Let's be clear.
Mm-hmm.
Vidi,
Yes.
I need to ask something of you. If you're planning on going off for a long time, can you at least let somebody know?
What do you mean?
You know when we were walking on the road and then you went to go investigate the house?
Yeah, you said look out for anything weird. That's what I did.
You did do that, yes. And we were able to find out about all of this, and I'm very grateful. But we got very worried that something happened to you, and I don't want that to happen again. Navali's not laughing, I'm just laughing.
I want you to know, Vidi rolled me a GM rolled stealth check every single night. He just wanders off.
Okay.
So I think with that, she probably looks a little blank or a little confused, a little awash, and she'll just look at you and say, "What?"
It's mostly because I just want to make sure you're okay. In fact, that's all what it is. I don't want to limit any freedoms or anything. I just want to be sure that if you're like, I'm going to go off somewhere, then one of us knows, and that way we don't worry you're unsafe.
What? Is this like with the weapons that I was given? Is this like that? Is this a weapons thing? I don't understand what you're saying.
Hey, Six?
Hey, Vidi. You are really, really good at sneaking away and finding out important information.
That's all true.
What Navali is saying is that these woods are more dangerous than where we've been traveling before. So if you're going to want to wander off on your own, totally fine. Just warn her or me that you're going off on your own, okay?
Oh. Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, that way, like, you know, if something were to happen, we'd know to look for you.
Okay, I can do that.
You're so good at sneaking away that not even my ears are able to pick up on you walking away. So it's very impressive.
I am the best.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
Mhm.
you found out about the house?
She smiles.
BD, you might even be able to get Kari to run for his money in terms of her sneaking powers.
Oh, don't tell Kari so.
I should sneak up on him when we get back.
Yeah, you should.
Oh god, she might succeed. She might be the only one possible to be able to succeed.
Thank you, VD. I'm sorry if I confused you.
No, I understand. I think she's looking at Six.
Six gives a thumbs up. We're working as a group now, which means we have to have each other's backs, and we can't have your back if we don't know that you went somewhere.
Right.
Can I just assume after she says right, everyone stares at each other for about a minute?
Probably.
Also, throughout that entire conversation, all I could think of was, just tell me or your mother where you're going. Be home before dark.
Correct.
Speaking of Six, Navali, before when I go eat, can I? Is it okay if I just kind of point off into the woods?
Go for it.
Thumbs up.
Thank you for letting us know.
After VD eats, she completely vanishes from existence.
She's so good at that.
We're almost positive it's partially because she's a black cat in the middle of the night.
Thank you for your help with that, Six.
No problem.
Well, I'm going to ask an important question. Six, are you planning to take first watch with Willow?
I was going to offer for third, unless Willow wants to have first together.
No urgent conversation ideas, so whatever works for you.
Then I'll ask VD. When you return to take watches, do you want first or third?
Third.
Okay, so first watch would be Crow and Willow. Crow has nothing to really say. So go ahead and roll perception with advantage, Willow.
Okay.
Which is wisdom. Night goes by. You hear the sounds of crickets and bugs, everyone buzzing around, but none of them seem able to penetrate this magical wall. Nothing seems to be actually coming towards you that seems dangerous. You don't hear anything loud. As you look towards the trees that look a little bent, you now know where that probably came from, and you're not too worried. It feels relaxing. You're pretty sure you're fine tonight.
Hooray.
I assume no conversations planned? In which case, moving on to Navali and Toshiyuki.
Hey, Vale, you're already good at the perception thing.
Yeah, I can roll.
I also have 7 perception with Tsushiki, though.
Oh, could I give Tushiki advantage then?
I think so, yeah. Are you training in perception?
You don't
I
need to
am.
train in perception for long rests.
Okay.
I am trained in perception though.
Okay. Should we give advantage? Okay, I'll do advantage then.
Toshiyuki.
Yeah.
First of all, any conversations you intend to have?
Not that he intends to have.
How about you, Navali?
I think Navali is good.
There is a time by the end of the night where you're listening to these bugs give chirping and cricket sounds that suddenly stops. You notice some birds fly off. Something has entered the woods. It's far away, but you can tell the animals themselves have been spooked away.
Navali, do you hear that?
Navali will listen out.
You listen after Toshiyuki has pointed this out, and what you hear is what you don't hear. The bugs have stopped. You notice the fluttering of birds for a split second, and they're gone. There is an eerie silence.
I don't really hear anything. Which
worries
is
me.
yes. Navali is going to try to connect with Mira and
You feel her.
ask Mira if she has seen anything like sketchy go by.
You think, if you see anything sketchy, and the immediate part of your brain goes,
She's tired. She's sleepy.
and you can physically feel her having to get back up and look around.
Navali will note to ask her to stay enough within range that she can feel contact with her. I'm going to have Mira investigate.
Toshiyuki nods. It's nothing quite just yet, but that is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Have Mira roll investigation?
Would that be
Intelligence.
I don't think y'all know, but like intelligence is Mira's best stat. She has a -3.
Oh no.
I mean, that's honestly not terrible considering it's a -3.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. I mean, she rolled like a 12. Yeah, she did.
You watch her go into the darkness. A moment goes by. Another moment goes by. You feel the exhaustion go over her as she comes back. She seems to understand that there's something in your mind of there are things that looked at her and then let her walk away. What those things are, she has no idea. You then realize Mira does not have dark vision.
Oh, she does not. Well, Mira did walk around and nothing went to her, so I guess maybe when we wake the others up, we'll let them know to keep their ears out and eyes open to seeing whatever is causing this fear in the forest.
Toshiyuki nods. His eyes is still intent on the forest around him. You get the impression his ears, if you could see them, will be perked up and forward.
As you pay attention, time goes on. Nothing seems to attack your deer outside this bubble, so at the very least, if danger is coming, it's waiting for a better time. And you do know you still need your sleep as you go wake up Six and VD.
Tushiki informs Six, considering her the ad hoc leader. Along with Navali, of course.
Thanks. I'll keep an eye out.
Well, speaking of keeping an eye out, VD, Six.
VD.
Yes.
Previous watch may have discovered or sensed something dangerous in the woods. Well, we should probably stick together, but if you're going to go off, please let me know.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Do we know what we're looking for?
She shakes her head. Something made all the insects quiet. Something's hunting.
Got it.
What is your perception?
+10.
And would you like to roll with
Whoa.
advantage?
Sure.
Okay, VD, I have to ask. Do you wander off?
No, she'll stick together. She said she would.
You stay close to Six, and you immediately notice the quietness. Your ears instantly can pick up things far away. Every now and then there's thump, thump. You heard Six say hunting. You don't think that's accurate. You think there's just big things that scared things away. Multiple big things. 3, 4 big things. Every now and then a tree gets pushed a little bit in the distance and you see it shake. But it's far away and it's not coming towards you. And you're positive that it's not trying to hunt for food because then it would go eat the delicious deer nearby, right? Like, you look over, the deer is not hiding.
And when you say big for comparison's sake, would it be bigger than the green thing in the cave?
The 25, I'm going to ask still for a wisdom.
Oh, yeah. This far away in the dark, it's anybody's game. She will mention to Six. I don't think they're hunting. I think they're going somewhere, or maybe looking for something.
She nods. Good job.
Thanks.
As she sort of settles in to hold position, she says, "You know, I don't really know very much about you. We hunted mice together that one time, and that was it."
Yeah, that was cool.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite?
A favorite.
A favorite. I like fish. I mean, what I brought with me, what we had on the beach.
Fish is good. We brought so much fish.
Yes, it's great.
You like fish that much?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Honestly, anything from here just tastes so much better anyway, so
Really?
it's hard to pick a favorite, I guess.
Oh yeah, you said that the land was dead where you're
Mhm.
from. Can it not grow anything?
Mm, Not really. Not well. No.
Oh, that sounds awful. Is that mean?
No, it's awful.
Six has a look like she's thinking. She's not entirely certain what to ask, and clearly searching for something to ask.
Roll me insight 6. Yeah, I mean, Vidi is always hard to talk to. She's just so blunt and then immediately answers your questions without having any way to follow up. It's hard.
Do you like games?
Like, what kind of game?
Board game.
What's that?
Oh, it's Permilia and I played this strategy game. It's got pieces, and it's like you're acting out a war. It's supposed to help you get better at battle strategy. I've been using it.
Oh. Like chess.
Yeah, maybe. Do I know what chess is?
Sure.
Yeah, kinda.
Actually, Snow definitely taught you chess because he thinks it makes people seem smarter.
Oh my god. And he probably thinks he's good at it too. So, okay, perhaps more grimly, yeah, I know what chess is. It's similar. If those creatures aren't hunting, would you like me to show you?
Sure.
I'll try to explain it. I'm not as good at it as Permilia is.
You spend the rest of your watch learning to play a complicated war game. As the sun comes up, Vidi, you learn the absolute basics to how things move, maybe. Morning comes, you get a long rest, nothing attacked you in the middle of the night. You still don't hear animals as the rest of you wake up. I'm going to correct myself. The rest of you probably wake up to Six trying desperately to how to explain a complicated. This is how this thing moves. This is how many spaces it can move. This is how we decide what a space is.
Look at these cool pieces Celester and I made.
They are cool, admittedly.
Yeah, she got General Scarlet, like, spot on. I don't know how she did that. It was really impressive.
As the party wakes up this conversation, what would you like to do?
Here's the butcher.
Ooh.
I don't think the piece is snobbish enough. It's close.
Butcher of what?
The
Old
city
man.
things.
Oh, you mean the cat person? Oh. Crow wakes up and is staring at them now.
Hi, Crow.
What's her plan for today? Are we going to that house?
I'd like to.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay. She starts pushing the mirror over to start tying it back over to Mira. Well, I'm going to ask the party. Do you start looking for that house again?
Yes.
Yes.
With the lack of sound of animals, there's things clearly in the woods. Do you do this without caring, or do you do this stealthily?
I would say if we attempt to do it stealthily, it's going to be difficult with Navali. Not saying we can't.
You don't have to put on your armor.
No, I like my armor.
Up to the party. I just need an answer so I can decide what you have to roll next.
How many people in our party do we have with good stealth?
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Oh no.
Basically everyone except Navali.
I mean, do you guys want to try to stealth?
Let's do it.
We can certainly try.
Let's try.
All right. For the sake of simplicity, instead of having 5.5, including Crow for the half, stealth checks, let's simply have the highest stealth person roll with disadvantage. Congratulations, Feedy. Everyone knows you have a plus 10.
You said with disadvantage?
Yes. VD, you are not used to having to sneak around with other people. So as you just kind of start walking and completely silence your footsteps, actively walk over twigs without them breaking, you just hear one snap immediately afterwards. As you make noise, you can feel as if whatever's nearby, whatever's in the woods, knows you're coming now. Guaranteed. Whether or not they seem to be acting and moving towards you, doesn't seem to be. But they will know.
I'll probably tell everybody else that a hushed whisper.
You can assume Navali stepped on the twig, to be clear.
Or Mira.
Or Mira, that's true.
It's very likely it was Navali, though.
But I assume you head to the house?
Yeah.
Finding it isn't going to be too difficult, especially once you give up the idea of stealth. You get to the clearing of where you saw that house before, and you see 4 of those large creatures that you saw and slew before, where your spear went through their hearts, currently all around the house. Currently taking it apart, moving pieces, digging giant holes. They look tired, as if they don't want to be up this early in the morning, but doing things.
Can we see the spirit?
Oral perception. Navali.
Yeah.
Since it's the first thing that comes to your mind, you take a few steps forward to see if you can get a view of where you saw that spirit before. And it is still there, sitting there staring towards the same thing it was staring at before. You also see another person there. Who is sitting nearby it? Looks to be humanoid. Takes you a moment, you notice pointy ears. You also quickly realize the large green-skinned creatures are continuing to do this despite the fact you saw a couple of eyes look over to you. They don't seem to care. They know you're there.
They know we're here. There's no point in trying to hide. I know what we're here for. If they don't care that we're here, then we can just go about our business and do what we need to.
Which large creatures are they? Are they like the big wolves?
The trolls.
Okay. The green things, yeah.
To clarify, simply without the poetic language, you see 4 trolls, and then Navali saw what appears to be, you couldn't tell the gender, but an elf sitting near the spirit.
Are you all right to approach them?
Six nods. Do you think they're gonna fight us?
They don't seem to put it bluntly, care that we're even here. If they put up a fight, we'll just say that we wanted to give the spirit some peace. And if they have a problem with that, then that's their problem.
Why are they tearing up the house?
I don't know. I'm curious
6, roll survival or history, actually, because you might have an idea.
I'll roll history. It's spend a superiority die.
Sure.
Eight.
I'm still taking that as a natural 1, to be clear. You have no idea.
I mean, if there's no objection to it, then Navali's gonna want to go approach them.
I'll ask if you approach as a group or kind of fan out a little bit and let Navali approach alone.
Navali doesn't have her armor on, right?
No, I have my armor on.
Navali is completely wearing her
Right.
armor. That's why there was a disadvantage in stealth. So, as a group or fan out?
Just you get a fan at least.
I feel like VD would naturally start to fan out as well.
I suppose I'll ask the better question then. Does anyone actually walk with Navali?
What if we go together, Navali? It looks like the others are spreading out.
That sounds good. We approach.
As you approach, you notice one of them look over again and just start tearing a board off, and part of the house start to collapse, and him just gather the rubble. They do not try and stop you, though they seem to, when they look at you, you can see as if they're judging if you're about to attack them or not. And if they do not see a weapon out, they just go about their business. Roll insight. You can feel as if something's off with the way they're acting, but you can't put your finger on what.
Navali's gonna make note of that to 6, and then she's gonna keep going towards the spirit and the elf.
Sure. Same.
You do, so you have no issues in getting to the spirits. The roll perception. The elf is definitely actually there. You can see the grass pushed aside where they're sitting. But they're also have their eyes closed and just sitting up and unmoving.
And is the spirit's demeanor the exact same as it
Hasn't
was before?
changed. Hasn't changed at all.
Hello? She's speaking to the elf.
Rolling something in the background, don't worry about it.
Are you
They
able to...
do not respond.
Are you able to see the spirit too?
They continue not to respond.
Six, do you have the piece of cloth?
Yeah.
Navali is going to offer her hand to take it.
She nods and hands it over. But is also staying close, like clearly interested to see what'll happen.
Mm-hmm. Navali is going to kneel down so that she can be at the eye level with the spirit. And she's going to show him the piece of clothing.
As you show them the piece of clothing, it's the first time you see a reaction. And you see its hand start to move as if trying to grab it. And its hand go through yours. And it stares at you.
They're safe.
Roll persuasion with advantage. As you say, they're safe. You see its entire body flicker for a second, then vanish into the wind.
We did it.
We did. I still want to bury this piece. It's not a lot, but at least perhaps that will... I don't know. Does that make sense?
I'll help.
Thank you. And Navali's gonna try to find a space to bury the piece of cloth.
Well, technically speaking, the trolls are making huge holes, but you can find like exactly where the spirit was sitting. You can just dig up right there if you wanted to.
Yeah. As we're doing this, can I try to discern if the elf is in some sort of magical effect?
You may. Because you're level 25, I'm just going to ask for a simple nature or arcana.
I'm not great at both either of those, so I'm just gonna go Arcana since I think Navali's specifically looking for some sort of magical effect. Yeah.
You have no fucking idea.
Well, I don't think there's anything else for us to do here, Six.
I am going to ask for an athletics just to see how long it takes you to actually make the hole. The dirt is coarse, it is difficult, it's going to take you some time.
Am I able to assist her? I'm trained.
You may roll with advantage. Six just goes, hold on, and goes a little bit off to the side to an area a bit further away that's much easier to dig in. And after about 5 minutes, you dig a hole big enough that you can easily put the little piece of clothing in and push it back at the pack it back over.
Have we been being watched this entire time?
No, the trolls seem to be completely ignoring you. Like they are doing their own thing. You can see them actively dismantling the house if you are actually looking towards them, taking pieces off. And as you look off to the side, it looks as if anytime that they find pieces of the bodies, they're throwing them into a hole nearby.
Six, before we go, I'd still like to say some sort of prayer for them.
Sure, how do we do it?
My thinking, Skirnis Navali probably would think back to, like, maybe something Priestess Neen talked to her about.
Sure. Roll wisdom.
Oh, sorry, that was a wisdom save. It would be a +2 instead, so it'd be
So 10.
10. Yeah.
You remember many of her basic prayers. They're largely about praying for protection, but in the aftermath of one, you can think of a protection to the next side or something to that degree, or possibly protection for the kids.
I think Navali would probably want to do like a little bit of both, one for the parents and then the other for the children to basically have Helm watch over them, essentially.
And as you give that quick prayer, finally, the elf rolled above a 5 on perception and opens their eyes and kind of stares at you, but doesn't interrupt the prayer.
Thank you for helping me with that, Six.
She nods. Helm has been good to us. I don't know any of his teachings, but if this helps him help them, I figure I owe it to him at this point.
For everything that I went through, it's a lot more comforting to think that he's looking out for you. So I hope for the same. And then I imagine when she turns around and she sees the elf is awake.
Staring at you, yes. You see they have their eye color's a bit strange. It's a very grayish blue.
Hello. Were you-
Yes. Hold on. What was I supposed to say here? You know what? I don't care. Ghost is gone. I guess you guys took care of the problem. Perfect.
So you were able to see the spirit.
Sure, it was just hanging there.
Right.
Orcs that did this, do you know where they went? I assume you killed them or the spirit would still be here.
They're dead.
Great. Where?
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 There was a cave. Navali will point behind her. It was a cave back there. It's a pretty big one, actually. And Navali's gonna start describing the cave.
Great, great. The elf is just kind of nodding along. Okay, okay, okay. You see them gesture and mumble something under their breath. You can recognize the spell being cast. You don't see any harmful effect immediately afterwards if you do go on edge about this. Then a longer pause. Fine. Stands up, stares at you. Name.
Navali.
Clarification. You killed the runaways, made sure they're dead, made sure they can't stop anyone, blah, blah, blah.
If you mean the ones in the cave, then yes, they are all dead.
Perfect. Excellent. No problems. I'm supposed to reward you then because that was supposed to be a thing that we do if you stop them beforehand because they stop more of this happening. And I don't like that because I was hoping I get to keep my things. But apparently I have to follow orders. So, hi. Did you help? Stares at Six.
Yes, our group saw the scene, saw that there was a lingering spirit, tracked down the orcs, killed them, rescued their victims, put them up, made sure they were safe, and then we found you.
Oh, the victim? They didn't kill everyone?
No. They were abusing some kids.
Probably thought they could sell it back to us. What idiots. We would have said no. Probably killed them immediately. Anyway, hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
I'm Six. You sound like you know what's going on here.
Sure. I'm supposed to reward you. I think. Probably. That's close enough. Uh, Mercenaries?
Sort of. We're a guild from Dulverin.
Oh, gold is so much easier. I can give you gold.
If you wish to.
It absolutely solves so many problems. Yes, and they just stand up and start walking over to one of the trolls and seem to be trying to grab something from their waist. The troll completely ignores them.
Which group do you represent? I'm not familiar.
Am I supposed to tell you? I don't think I'm supposed to tell you. What guild?
I looked to Navali on that.
Shield of the Outcast.
No, I do know that one. Pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to say some things to you. Okay, let's start. I represent change or some shit like that.
Is this the sort of thing where the fewer questions we ask, the better it'll be for everyone involved?
Probably.
Okay.
So, you okay with gold? Because I prefer to give you just gold.
It sounds like there's another option on the table.
I mean, yes, but I like the other thing.
What's the other thing?
There's a really nice magical porcelain cup that I'm supposed to offer you.
What does the really nice magical porcelain cup that you're supposed to offer us do?
Makes water?
Like normal water?
Sure, no.
Like holy water?
No. Could both of you roll me insight? Both of you are realizing with every time they suddenly stutter or stop, you get the feeling they were about to try and lie to you, and then something physically forced them to tell the truth. So I'm guessing you want to know what the water does then, and you're not going to stop asking questions.
Yeah, actually.
So it refills, and it's great, and closes wounds.
It's magical healing water.
Yes.
Do you know who's good at talking to people, Navali?
Hmm.
Tushiyuki is an excellent interrogator.
Who the fuck is that?
He helped. He's part of our group. So he should have a say in the magic healing water.
I will go see if I can find him.
To be honest, I'm assuming the fanning out people didn't, like, try and hide.
Not especially.
So I will ask Tushiyuki to come over.
He arrives slightly bewildered but amused.
Great. So how many are you? Do you want to get them each of you one at a time so you can then ask me about this cup that gives healing water? Can't I just give you the gold? It's so much easier.
Now, hold on. Magical drinks are sort of a specialty.
Fine. Digs into a bag and takes out what appears to be a very small porcelain cup. Tushiyuki, to you it reminds me almost like a sake cup. It's similar size, a little bit different shape, but similar size. It's not the bottle. Like you can tell it's a single drink. And you do see liquid inside that looks to be water, though the person's not being careful with it and you're noticing it does not spill.
Mayor?
I mean, sure, but if you take it, you're not getting the gold. Then just hands you the cup.
Tushiki is going to inspect it thoroughly. I'm guessing you'd like an arcane roll.
Arcana, yes. It does not take you long to realize that this is very magical in many different forms. The first thing you do is kind of spin it a little bit and see, correct, it does not spill. Then you just try to pour it out, it does not spill. You're pretty sure if you even try to take a drink out of it, you don't be able to take a single sip. But you can smell it's very clean, very fresh water. Looks clear, but you can clearly tell there's a lot of magical properties in this water.
And how much gold did you say you were offering once again?
400?
Insight.
Sure. I'm going to tell you, well, first of all, insight's wisdom, not charisma.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'll take your initial roll and just, you know what? Sure. Just because it's funny, even though it's a higher roll.
Yep.
And explain what I told the others. You can tell something has magically bound this person to be unable to lie. You get the feeling with the stuttering of they like the cup a lot more than the money.
Well, I have no real association with this person, and they really like the cup. So, Tushiki turns to Six Navali and says, "We should probably take the cup."
I do kind of like the cup.
Fine. You said the cave is over that way?
Yes.
Great, take the cup. And they seem to climb up onto one of the creatures and points toward the directions of the cave and tries to start leaving now.
Thank you very much. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
journey.
Don't ask any more questions.
You got it.
What a strange man.
With an even stranger cup, it seems.
That guy was weird, and they dodged a lot of questions.
Something tells me perhaps it probably is not best to pry at this moment. But he was definitely weird.
With the trolls gone, is it more clear that they were burying the
Oh,
bodies?
3 of them are still there. So just to be clear, only one of them left towards the cave. The other 3 are still there. I will definitely allow an insight check now that there's like no concern.
I'll do it. Does someone else
Sure.
want to do it? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
You're the one who asked.
I'm blowing resources.
Go for it. It'd be really funny if then they attack you.
12.
With a 12, you're paying attention. They're clearly burying the bodies, and you think they're dismantling the house just to clear it out. It doesn't seem they're having hostile intent. It doesn't seem like they're trying to gather resources from the house. It seems more like a, why would you leave a destroyed house? Let's clean up the mess.
That makes sense. And 6 will repeat that to the others. It looks like they're burying the bodies and cleaning up the rubble. I don't think there's any problem here.
Then I think we can move on.
So, as you say, you think you can move on. I assume you gather everyone and just leave. Well, before we take our break, I have an incredibly important question. Who would like to attune to a magic item?
Tushigi was going to study it because I think they're the only person who has any kind of arcane experience here.
Sure, I will happy to showcase what it does if you are the one who wants to attune to it.
I mean, anyone else can do it afterwards, I assume, unless it's cursed. Which I would be very surprised if you gave us a cursed item as a reward.
It would be very funny.
It would.
I am very interested to know what it does.
Let us assume for now Tushiyuki is the one who has attuned to it over the course of the next hour. And as I reveal this, let us take our break. So, with your new cup, and which currently we're going to say is attuned to Tushiyuki, I assume there's no objections to that. You can move it around whenever you want, just it takes an hour to attune, as a reminder. You start following the road again. You know you have about a week's journey ahead of you. So guess what? I get to make you roll a lot of dice for fun for 7 days.
Yeah.
The first day, black clouds fill the sky. You can tell a storm is coming, and it's going to be difficult to move forward at any significant speed. And hopefully, there's no dangers beyond that, but that's still not going to be enjoyable. So I'm going to ask, do you try and push on through the wind and rain?
I'd say this is Navali's mission, so a lot of it leans on her. But this is fairly time sensitive in a way, so probably I guess.
If it doesn't become to the point where like we can't move at all through it, then I would say Navali would ask if we can keep pushing forward.
Great. I require someone to decide to roll a survival check for me.
Willow, help!
Willow, could you roll survival?
Which stat is that? Wisdom?
Wisdom.
Willow!
Oops.
Oh no.
All right, hold on. Gonna add an extra day. The storm is rough. It pushes you down. It is hard to move, and as the mud starts to make Mira start to complain and get stuck, you realize you've made almost no distance over the entire day. You're not damaged. You don't. This is not the desert. Let's be clear. You can still long rest, but it's a slow-moving process, and you get the feeling that you're probably gonna have to add an extra day to your journey.
Gotcha.
But there's no dangers beyond that. So I'm going to ask, and I'm going to be a little bit more brief on a couple of days so we don't spend 3 sessions even getting to the location. Is there anything you'd like to do during that evening? If no, I'm happy to just say day 2.
I think we can move to day 2.
Day 2. The sun is bright. The storm has passed completely. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's warm. It's kind of nice as you go from this terrible day to a day that's very easy to travel on. I'm going to ask for a perception check from someone.
No one volunteers. Oh, never mind.
Perception.
Perception.
Should VD do it?
I've got perception 7.
I think VD has a plus 10.
Plus 10. It's plus 10. Stealth and perception are insane for her.
I say go for it.
Seems like. Yeah, go for it.
Vidi. It's a very nice day. And as you're traveling around, you actually notice off to the side there's a small stream. And if you're willing to get people to take a break, you're pretty sure you can catch some extra fish and feed everyone except Navali for the day. Do you want to try and convince them? Or do you just do it without saying anything?
I was told not to just do it without saying anything, so she will flag down Six or Navali and tell them that.
Are we running low on food?
I don't know, are we?
No. It's fresh food that you brought a full month's worth of stuff. You're fine.
Maybe perhaps on our way back, VD.
Gotcha.
As you walk by the stream without stopping, you can see a fish jump out. It looks so delicious. They have dried fish in your bag. The day passes without any issues. I'll ask again if there's anything you want to do in the night before I move to day 3. I assume not, though.
Doesn't seem that way.
As you move on to day 3, the road becomes a bit bumpier. You can see that gravel has replaced dirt, as apparently this place has become more well-traveled and expected for wagons. But most of your feet don't particularly like the feeling of this. But there's at least good news with this. As you move forward, I'm going to actually ask for a history check from someone.
I'll do it.
Want to roll your spirit dice with this?
Hell yeah, I do. 25.
Dang.
With a 25, as you're traveling through the gravel pathways, you look off to the side and see what appear to be several stones stacked together. And first, you're not 100% sure about what they are, but you think back to things that it's your father or your mother. It's actually your mother, not your father on this one, of many indigenous people would create small shrines to some gods. And it's probably a good idea to at least put a coin there as you go by, as anytime you see a shrine off the side of the road, it's for a god to bless your travel. And you always want the gods on your side.
Sure. Six will have a little like hold up gesture with her hand and try to go off the road to show where the shrine is.
It's not hard to gesture towards this pile of rocks.
This is a shrine, I'm assuming, to some sort of local god or spirit. I was going to leave a tribute for safe passage.
Sure. I think that's a great idea.
I'll pop a gold piece down.
Cool. Could you roll me a D100? You plop a good piece down. You kind of nod to the shrine. You have absolutely no idea to who this god is to. In fact, I don't believe anyone here is. No, technically, Navali, you are trained in religion now. I'll let you roll.
Let's see. I am so upset.
Up to hell.
Every time. Helm just needs to start wearing a disguise, and then Navali will start suddenly nat 20 her own religion.
So you recognize some of the. You know what? Go ahead for the hilarity of it. But you recognize many of the scratches in the stone. This is a very small deity. The deity is known as Myrrh. It's a god that's mostly designed for merchants to donate to make sure that they make it without being hit by brigands on the way to their journey. It's not dissimilar to Helms, so in some ways it feels nice to kind of throw something this way. But you head on your way, and I have amazing news for everyone. Nothing bad happens to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to chase the rabbit for Holm.
You may chase the rabbit for Helm. Well, it's non-canon, so it doesn't matter.
I'm so sad.
Day 4.
Do we feel like we're making decently good time even after?
So you feel like you lost a single day, and every day afterwards has been fine.
Okay.
You don't feel like you've made extra time, so you're probably going to have an extra day to go still,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not losing days.
Gotcha.
So I want everybody to know this in advance. I pre-rolled my events, as usual, in case combat happened. And the previous event causes me to roll again. So I have to remove the only combat you were going to have this session.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Mur.
God.
Mur provides.
Mur provides.
As instead, it's a dark and gloomy day, very heavy cloud cover. Bit chilly suddenly. It's not a pleasant travel. I need a perception check from someone.
Sushi is going to do it this time. Just to make things up.
Sure.
Nice.
With a 20, you do notice that there is what is probably merchants. Definitely, there's some armored people with them. They don't look like soldiers, and it's a wagon that is coming towards you on the road. You could just walk off to the side so there's no issues, but you could also try and talk to them and see who they are if you wanted to. They're definitely mostly human. You can tell that immediately.
Is there anything super notice? Oh, sorry, that's not Navali.
Tushu can point this out to you. We could ask your question if you want.
I just wanted to see if there was anything super noticeable about their armor in particular.
With the 20, you can tell that it is well kept, but you don't see any insignias on them, making you assume either mercenary or guards, but not military.
And you said merchant?
You can assume that since they have a wagon that is definitely filled.
I don't think Navali would, I guess, want to bother them unless there's anything anybody is looking for in particular to see if they could buy off of the merchant.
I'm going to have the assumption that you kind of go off to the side and let them pass.
Yeah.
My only other thought is we might be able to learn about threats in the area if we talk to them, but we certainly don't have to.
Are you sure you want that early?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it like mechanically. I wasn't thinking about it like bond rewards. Now that you mention it, yeah. No, maybe not right now.
I think if nobody wants to go for it, I think we're okay.
As you go off to the side, you can definitely see a couple of people look towards you. After all, you're extremely well armed, and your mount is a deer. And also, you get the feeling as you get closer to the border, well, they're going to question Navali a little bit for the fact you're wearing armor and not other outfits. The rest of you definitely look out of place in this area. But they don't bother you, and when they see that you are clearly not drawing weapons or anything to that degree, they just walk right by you. And you continue forward. Congratulations, nothing attacks you because of the spending a gold coin to re-roll. Very upsetting.
Woo.
The next day. Once again, if there's anything you want to do over the night, simply stop me. So, the day is bright and warm again. You get the feeling the weather is going to fluctuate between slightly chilly and warm almost every day, depending entirely upon whether or not the sun is out. There is uses to the fact this is just a gravel road, and that is the fact that it's very clear that you're heading towards a town. Probably a more populated one. As you continue down the pathway, you do actually see, as the day grows long, that if you would like to sleep in a building, there is a small inn, not a town, just a singular building designed for travelers. I will simply ask, do you just kind of go to make some more time, or do you actually spend a day in it with warm beds and possibly talking to people around the area?
Navali will leave that to the group. Maybe citing that we've traveled a lot. We would be losing a little time, but I understand that it would be nice to have a warm bed for tonight.
Well, group, what do you say?
Tushiki, having spent several years on the run, possibly not in the best conditions, doesn't seem too fast either way.
Also, for the one NPC I'm still controlling, Crow does not seem to care.
I'd be fine with continuing to make time.
All right, VD, Willow.
Works for me.
I have strong feelings about it, sure.
All right. Then let's keep moving.
You push onward. You follow the road, and you walk right by that inn. You do notice that it seems to have an area for mounts, and there's probably some people there. But you want to make time, and you successfully push forward. Could I get a survival check? Actually, not survival. Hold on. I should check my notes again. I looked at the wrong notes. It is actually a investigation check.
Investigation, you say? I have +3. It's
Tsushiki, as you leave the inn and continue onward for a few more hours, you find several markings that lead towards the town that you're actually heading towards. You know you could be there in a few days. Though you're noticing that, well, is the most direct path, there is what appears to be rocky outcroppings off to the side. Now, you only have a single mount, a deer. If she is capable of moving through these rocky outcroppings, you could probably save time. Possibly even save a day of time. It might be difficult, and there might be more complications, but if you're willing to risk the complications, you could save that day you lost.
Tushiki explains the gamble, said gamble to the team, but of course warns that it's not without danger.
I could desummon Mira, and if
And
it
who's
gets,
carrying the mirror?
I could carry the mirror.
Okay, that's fine then.
I could desummon Mira if it gets too much for her, and then we could keep on moving. That said, we will still have to be careful. Navali gestures to the mirror. I imagine I'll be moving a little bit slower.
It's your mission, and it's fine if the mirror cracks a little bit. I can probably repair it. If you think it's valuable to save the people you want to save, it's okay to take risks.
If it cuts off a day, then it might be worth it. And if it doesn't, then we tried. I say let's try to be a little risky. And she'll look to Mira. If it becomes too much for you, you let me know right away.
You feel a determined feeling go through your entire chest, and all it gives a sound.
She'll give Mira a pat. I know you're very strong.
So you start to push towards the outcroppings and the rocky terrain. It's tiring, and it's definitely going to be tiring for the next day or two. But perhaps it might be worth it. You never know. This time, I am actually going to make you have to take a long rest here.
Sounds good.
So please, feel free to assign your watches. Well, we know watch 2. Okay, I guess VD and Crow is watch 3. Tuchiyuki 6, go ahead.
What's your perception? I forget.
7.
Take advantage.
Yeah, let's go. Bonk. All right then.
As you found a nice little hill to sleep on that has bubbled around, it's you don't see any danger. Every now and then you hear a bleeding noise in the distance, but apparently there might be goats here. You don't feel threatened by goats.
Man, if we had taken those kids with us, I could have shown them these goats, Six says to Tushiyuki.
As a slight smile, I feel like the risk of bringing them may have slightly outweighed that.
Oh yeah, terrible idea. Wrong thing to do. Goats. Goats are so cute. They have cool eyes.
More smiling and slight head shakes.
Is this, she's gesturing at the area around, what it was like for you when you were doing research?
Similar, but not as comfortable.
How do you mean?
He gestures to the dome around them.
Ah.
That said, becoming a fox at night is a fairly decent way to beat most of the cold.
What is it like being a fox?
What is it like being 6?
Well, I have a lot of energy and I feel like I gotta do stuff. And sometimes I get self-conscious and I really like spicy food.
Tsushiki absorbs all this with sort of a mixture of like awe and slight confusion.
What?
It is rare someone is able to concisely provide an answer for such a question.
Really?
Many consider it very highly philosophical.
Okay, well, what is being Tushiki like?
Hmm. These days, very different. It used to be all duty and honor. And now it is, well, a different kind, I suppose.
I don't know all the details. Karito said something like your government was hunting you.
He nods. The bottle, as I assume character has told you, I was definitely not meant to take it. But perhaps more importantly is what I learned. That was what I learned was what I was not meant to have.
Controlling what you know.
He nods.
That was pretty cool that you had the courage to take action.
It is surprising the courage one can find when one suddenly has to flee for their lives.
Yeah. Been there.
Tsushiki looks politely interested.
Oh, it's
But
it's not like Navali or anything. I feel bad even comparing myself to her. I've had to run away from a couple things. But also just like the adventures that we've had with Shield of the Outcast before we met you. Like when we went out into the desert, it was really hard on all of us, and we had to perform. We had to be our best selves or die. And so what's the choice? There isn't one.
the smile. Exactly that, yes.
Have you found what you were looking for since you've been in Dolvaran?
An interesting question. I suppose Karito does count toward it some way. An ally. A very unexpected ally.
When we were going to confront you, it was actually Karito who demanded that we stop and listen to you.
I must admit that I was surprised that I was even listened to. Let alone spared.
Yeah, when we first met him, he was all duty and honor and his sacred mission. I don't know. I don't know what made him stop, but he did. And now here we are.
I feel that the company he keeps these days perhaps might have contributed to it.
Yeah. Hey, when we were fighting, you did an ice thing. It hurt really badly. How did you do that?
It is difficult to explain, but where character skill lies with the martial, mine lies with the magical.
Oh, do you have to read a lot of books?
Thankfully, no. My power is given to me by a goddess, Inari.
Inari's, she's looking for the word. She's, Kami.
Exactly that. Yes.
Karito told me a little bit. I don't know very much about her. Him? Her? Them?
All is accurate, yes.
What?
We believe, well, we mainly refer to her, however, being as she is, all is appropriate. And even the priests aren't incredibly strict about how people address her, even when they are strict on other things.
Huh. What is important to Inari? Like, what are Inari's morals?
I'm surprised character has not told you. She is the goddess of. I can't directly remember.
Rice and wine.
Rice and wine, fertility,
Foxes.
foxes. He says, gesturing to himself.
That's cool.
He is generally good and kind.
It's interesting hearing about gods from you and Celastra and Navali. I was never really taught about having, like, a personal relationship with them. The gods of the desert are really scary.
From the little of character, what character told me of your time there, the desert in general seems to be quite worrying.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be. They said the land is sick. We're trying to find a way to fix it, but there's like a prophecy and a magic sword, and it's all kind of over me, I think.
He looks especially interested when you mention a sword. Does the prophecy say which kind of sword? I'm not sure if character has told you, but we also seek a weapon.
Do you? It's the sword of the Iron Angel.
Mm,
It can seal portals.
that does not sound quite like what we seek. The weapon we look for is of a maker of our homeland. It's similar to the weapons character carries, actually.
Is it magic?
I could only assume as much.
Why do you need the items?
That I am not sure. All I am certain of is that Inari says we need them. And I must trust in her.
Do you have the bottle?
I think Tushiki kept it. I don't think character took it off him.
Tushika still has the bottle.
Yeah, because he was serving drink before they left.
And like you both knew you were going to danger, so it still felt safer on Tsushiki.
They nod.
Do you want to use it?
Well, I have not used it yet today, and I have no current questions. Did you have one?
Yeah. Can I ask it?
He nods and starts the ceremony to, well, it's a ceremony. It's more as like a personal thing, cultural thing where, prepares a cup and pours the drink very carefully.
You actually pull
then-
out a full-out bowl, but yes. You're going to do the question part.
Oh yeah, because it needs to be a bigger surface, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mhm.
And then looks at Six expectantly.
How can Shield of the Outcast help Tushiyuki and Kareto complete their sacred mission?
There's a moment of hesitation, but it's one of sort of like surprise, which eases into sort of quiet, not quite delight, but sort of bemusement. Like, someone has asked an unexpectedly nice question before Tushiki repeats the question to the artifact.
The sake ripples. An image appears of a boat sailing across the sea towards what appears to be a very dense jungle with a mountain that appears to be on fire.
And Six can see this as well, can't you?
Yep.
Whoa, that's intense. We have to help you get on a boat. Maybe we'll have to come with you, because it'll be dangerous.
Well, you did ask how the shield might help us. As always, Inari's messages are both useful but maddeningly unclear.
I think I understand.
Hmm?
If she gave all the answers, then she wouldn't need us to do it.
Perhaps. You don't feel as Six.
Huh?
Carrington never mentioned that you hold such wisdom.
I don't know about that. But the people I've traveled with have taught me to be curious. And you said that you wouldn't ask because you trusted in Inari, but I'm not a worshiper of Inari. So I thought I could ask a more direct question and not feel like a bad guy.
Another warm smile. You deny wisdom in one phrase and then speak it in the next.
No. Okay. Well, I've learned a lot.
Well, it surely cannot be from character.
Oh, now you're joking about Karuto too. He's actually really smart. He's helped me a lot. He taught me about meditation and about certain kinds of patience.
That is definitely one of his strengths, yes.
Ugh. Thanks for letting me use the bottle. This thing's cool. I have so many questions, but maybe once we know more about your mission.
Well, I know Kaito has been more than willing to lend it out to his friends. So I feel like perhaps it is okay if I do so the same. Besides, our quest is, once again, frustratingly opaque. So perhaps asking questions of other things might shed more light on our own.
Yeah, all we have to do is find a mountain that's on fire, which is pretty distinct. I think that'll be easy.
And I will take courage from your enthusiasm, Six.
Sort of like strikes a heroic pose as a joke, clearly not taking herself too seriously.
Ah, I can see why character stuck around.
Whoops. I'm not precision attacking Toshiyuki. That was a mistake.
And suddenly the claw goes through his chest. And anyway,
Stab, 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 stab.
I believe that is a perfect place to switch to the second watch. Second watch is Navali and Willow.
Sounds good.
One of you roll with advantage.
What's Willow's perception?
+2.
Do you mind if I do it?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Yes, go for it.
Big 8.
Navali, as you look out into the internal darkness of mountainous terrain all around you, you see nothing. Is there any conversations you'd like to have with Willow?
Not that I can think of.
As you pause and stare into the darkness and time goes on, you suddenly feel a strange feeling inside of you, as if you're very warm and feel as if you're being hugged when no one's touching you.
Mira?
She's outside the bubble. You look towards Mira, who is laying down, and you blink a few times and notice there are horns next to Mira.
She's immediately gonna get Willow's attention. Do you see that?
Willow, for the sake of simplicity, could you also just roll me perception?
Sure.
Willow, as you're told, do you see that? You look over to the deer that you've been traveling with this entire time, and like 4 goats have decided to just surround and sleep on top of her.
That's kind of adorable.
Is that what you were talking about?
Navali squints her eyes. Yes? What are those?
Looks like goats to me.
Huh. Well, if they're not hurting Mira.
I don't think they'll give us much trouble.
Mira feels more confused than hurt.
She'll just try to comfort Mira, like telepathically.
Roll persuasion. With that telepathic comfort of, if they hurt you, I'll kill them. It's fine. Everything's okay. You can feel the eternal bond between you understandingly as she falls back to sleep. Should we move to watch 3 then?
I will point out Mira has made goat friends.
As you point this out to Crow, she's going to blink several times at what you're pointing out into the eternal darkness. Someday I'm going to learn how to look through the dark just so I know what the hell all of you are talking about.
Just imagine Mira surrounded by 4 or 5 goats. And they're all
What?
cuddling.
What? Okay. Vidi, I'm gonna look at my mirror. You have fun.
Okay.
So Vidi, go ahead and roll the perception.
Just a straight roll, I take it.
Sure. Yes. Well, the good news is, what Navali said is true. That's still happening. You get the feeling they did actually just fall asleep there.
Hmm.
The better news is, there's nothing else actually coming. You get the feeling that they came here for safety and basically felt like Mira was shelter, which means there's no predators around here. There's nothing you're afraid of. Anything Vidi would like to ask Crow?
I don't think she knows Crow that well, so probably
she
not.
does not, correct.
Nope, this is weird. Nope.
Yep, 100%. Morning comes. Mira shakes off the goats who bleat and start hopping away over the rocks. I'm going to require an investigation roll for this day.
Dang, okay, pop off.
This was your idea, and you're going to make sure it works. And you guide everyone through the directions. And anytime there's going to be anything that seems too steep for a four-legged mount, you pause and stare and watch the deer easily leap over it, and you go, oh, never mind. And you continue forward to the point where I'd like you to roll me a D100. You want to get above 50. As the sun goes down, you realize that you will easily be able to make the town tomorrow morning, probably in the early day. But as you are currently off-road, I am going to need another actually taking watches. Valley's Tushiyuki's 1. Who's going with 6?
Medium
Willow
goes
good.
6.
Oh,
Vidi, you get Crow again. Unless Vidi wants to be with 6. You could rock, paper, scissors for it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, Vidi, you get the person who you do not know. First watch, perceptions.
Do you want to have advantage this time?
Let's both roll.
Let's both roll? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Let's go team perception. We're
Yeah.
amazing.
As you both stare into the darkness, Navali, your mind wanders and wonders, I wonder if the goats are going to come back. You stop paying attention. Sushik, you don't see anything dangerous. You're probably fine. Anything you'd like to talk about? If no, we'll move on to the siblings.
Tushiyuki, inspired by his conversation last night, is going to offer Navali the use of the bottle.
What is this?
Has character not demonstrated?
I don't know if in front of me.
Oh, see, I'm sure he has, but oh, let me find the actual rules. Magic items. It's not in there. Well,
I'll find it for
folks,
you.
it's not in there. Scott, we kind of need to organize this a little bit better. Is it in party loot? It's not in party loot.
No,
Is
it's
it
in magic
models?
items in our bottle.
What?
It's in magic
It's
items.
because there's another drop down at the top of it, and I thought that was the end of the section. I'm an idiot.
Oh,
They're also not in alphabetical order.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't organize that much.
Worst DM ever.
what is it titled?
An Ari bottle.
Yeah.
Only in Karuto's thing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can't see it.
Anyway, Tushiki explains that you may ask a bit of question which you desire to take in the future, and it will show you a possible outcome. At least according to an Ari.
And you could ask this bottle any question.
He nods.
Navali will take it. I have to think about this. Give me a sec.
It's cool, I can just improvise prophecy, it's fine.
Yeah, you can. Because despite my prior statements, you're an amazing DM.
Do you have to say it out loud?
I am afraid so. But, and he looks, incredibly sincere about this. What you say will remain between us. I swear on Inari herself.
And it will show you a future?
He nods. A possible future. So far, it has been fairly reliable.
And can it show you people who are already gone?
There's a momentary frown. I have not had occasion to ask. We can try if you wish.
Is my mother proud of me? And she'll drink.
As you lift up to drink, I'm sure Tushiyuki would probably put a hand on it to prevent you from doing so.
Am I not supposed to?
Here, let me. Just trying to think of how to rephrase it. Go and check me on this.
if I were to bring my mother back, would she be proud of what I had become?
Makes sense.
Because that's an action.
Yep.
So I just phrase it like that.
And he holds it in his hands, and
Eh.
says these words.
As he says these words, as you're about to say anything, Navali, you see the water flicker, the sake flicker, and an image appears in front of you. You see your mother, her body as strong as you remember, barely wearing any clothes, of course, as you remember, just staring at you for a moment and giving you a hug.
Oh shit. Navali, holy shit, I didn't think that was gonna make me cry. um
It seems
Navali,
Inari believes that you have become a warrior that your mother will be proud of. And
thank
you can
you.
see his smile is warm and genuine as he says this.
She wipes maybe a stray tear from her eye. It's something I've always wanted to know. I'm glad that she does. Or at least Anari thinks that she would be. You said just between us, yes?
He nods.
Thank you, I
I swear,
appreciate it.
I swear on all the coming.
Thank you.
And he pours 2 cups and offers one to Navali.
She'll take it.
To mothers. May they ever be proud of us.
To mothers.
Sip.
You drink, and Navali, you're not used to drinking, and this is very strong. I still need a con save.
Makes sense. Yay!
Great, you're gonna have a weird dream tonight.
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, it makes sense. She just learned something that's pretty, like, you know.
I am going to assume that's a great place to switch to the second watch.
They pass the rest of the shift in companionable silence.
Six and Willow.
Willow, what is your perception? Do you have it?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. It's not rain, so I believe it's a +2.
Ooh, may I roll with advantage?
Yes.
Six. You look out into the sky. You see thousands of stars. It reminds you a little bit of home, honestly. And that sense of home makes your ears twitch a little bit, and you realize there's some bugs. You hear the hooting of an owl in the distance. You're in no danger.
Do you like it out here? Six sort of asks Willow out of nowhere.
I don't know. It's different for sure. Do you?
She nods. Big sky.
It is pretty.
Are you okay after that stuff with the orcs?
Yeah, I think so. Why?
I don't know. I wanted to check on you.
I'm good. Thanks for asking, though.
She smiles. That was pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Are you doing okay?
Yeah. I think we did the right thing.
I think so too.
When we went to fight, you were very decisive. I thought that you didn't like that stuff anymore.
I don't know. It felt different with people I knew in danger.
I've been struggling with this thought about killing people. I don't want to ever be like Dad. And I'm always afraid that if I go to kill someone, that it's going to be a mistake, that they had a good reason or I misjudged them. And I don't think that was the case here, but I could feel myself hesitating.
I think that hesitation is the difference, right?
She perks up sort of quizzically.
You thought about it. You thought maybe they didn't, but you decided they did. I don't think Dad would have thought that.
No, he just would have done it.
I think you're different, Six.
Me too. I think he'd be disappointed in me. Maybe that's a good thing.
You could say that.
I want to be there for Navali with this upcoming mission, and I don't want to choke.
You won't. We're all in it together. I can see how much you care.
She nods. I know you haven't known her as long. Navali's a really good person, and I think you'd like her a lot. This is really important to her.
Seems like it. I'm happy to be here to help.
They're taking prisoners and using them as hostages. It's fucked up.
Definitely. It's a lot to take on.
I'm not going to pretend it doesn't happen back home, but at least this time it feels like we can do something about it.
Gotta take the opportunity when you have it, I suppose.
Can I ask you kind of a personal question?
Sure.
Was there anyone else like you?
How so?
The way that he took advantage of you.
Skern?
No. Yes, no, you're not sure.
I'm not really sure. Not that I know of.
Makes me mad. It's just like Permelia's parents. It's fucked up.
Hopefully we can stop it from happening more.
You weren't there for that. Permelia, she she's so nice, and we went to go confront her parents because they aren't very nice, and they tried to kill her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because she's different. It's fucked up.
That's really fucked up. Now I'm more glad we're here.
Yeah. One thing at a time. We'll rescue the prisoners. We'll get them safe. Sorry, it's a lot. And I don't want to talk to Navali about it because I don't want to distract her.
No, it's okay. I can tell you guys really care for each other.
Thanks, Willow.
Of course.
She sort of like goes off into ponderous silence, unless addressed, having sort of gotten the thoughts out of her head that she needed to.
Willow is satisfied having seen that.
With certainty that you're safe and your thoughts going into the idea of it's now that they're actually out there, they're real. You wake up the next group. Hey, VD!
Woo!
Woken up with the same girl last time who you barely know.
Oh, great.
She's looking at her damn mirror again. What do you do?
I'll keep lookout, I guess.
How nosy are you?
Oh, I'm crazy nosy.
You realize as you go, okay, she's not paying attention to me. I'm gonna see what the fuck she's looking at. And notice that the mirror is looking very far away. And wait, no, it's not far away. You can see the bubble. She's staring at the form of everything around you from like 500 feet in the air.
Huh.
That being said, there is nothing around you except a deer.
Well, that's good at least.
It's the deer you know of. Additionally, with a 20 perception, you realize she cannot see shit through her mirror. She's doing it and trying so desperately to do so. Apparently, humans don't have night vision. Weird. So I assume you have nothing you want to say to her.
No.
Perfect. Morning comes. Nothing attacked you in the middle of the night.
Is Navali a little tipsy?
Your head hurts a little bit.
I'm gonna do 5 lay on hands.
You're no longer hungover. And there is no rules required. You follow the path that Chichuki pointed out last night. A few hours go by and you see stone buildings in the distance. You're going to arrive there very soon. That being said, you have no idea how dangerous it's going to be. So I ask, how do you approach?
They're going to be somewhat suspicious of me, given, you know. I am uncertain how we should approach the situation. My thinking was perhaps we just say we're in the area looking, although I don't know how convincing that sounds.
Oh, Permelia gave me her sword for this. Six pulls out the fake Oathkeeper.
Oh. Oh, she gave that to you?
Yeah. Solastra and I made her another sword, and she gave us this one. She said it might help us fit in. Obviously, I think that you need a little re-education by Herodine, Navali, because you won't put on the outfit. Six has this little smarmy grin and hands the sword over.
I don't know if I should hold the sword, though. I don't think they would believe that I was its owner.
Well, who else could use re-education?
Hmm.
I mean, I'll wear it if you don't want to. Tushiyuki can be my owner.
But... Hmm. Well, I guess either of us could wear. I'm sorry. I guess I was under the perception or the thinking that by having the sword we would perhaps be claiming to be something in the Iridian military, which I don't think they would look at me and think that I was.
You are the only one wearing full plate armor.
Yes, but I think they probably don't have Viera in their military.
Why? You are huge. Why wouldn't they recruit? They're idiots. They're idiots. I'm gonna stop talking. It's fine.
Yes, they turned all of my people into servants. So that tells you is probably enough that you need to know.
They're idiots.
That yes, they are. We could try. Are you sure you'd feel comfortable having the perception of that Six?
I don't care. It's not real. And if it'll help our mission, then sure.
Okay. Then I think that means we might have to rethink our she makes a motion of like the way the group is standing. You know, leader first.
Oh, yeah, obviously Tushiyuki is our master. And he owns this Viera and 3 Rasahari.
And Crow is a friend?
She's also our master.
Crow shrugs.
We have 2.
Makes sense.
They're married.
Ugh.
Congratulations.
Yep, and I have an oath.
He's politely offended by that.
I have to do whatever you say, Tushiyuki, or else I'll suffer immense physical pain.
You sound way too happy about this.
I mean, okay, when it was real and it was on Permelia, it was horrifying. Now that we're using it as a prop, I suppose I feel a little mischievous about it. Yeah, because the situation's fucked, and if I don't laugh about it, I'm going to feel terrified.
Right, I'll stop questioning things. Come on, honey. Let's go take our servants to this town.
Yes, sweetheart. I guess Tushiki takes the lead then.
So, with the awkwardness of two people who very clearly barely know each other, pretending to be a married couple, walking towards the town comes into view in much clearer sight. You see dozens upon dozens of stone buildings. You know that seems to house many. There's going to be a market. It's going to be an area of some actual places of business here. What surprises at least some of you is the lack of walls. Normally, in an area that becomes this large, that walls become required. But as you look up to many of the buildings, you notice that they aren't slanted. They're all even, with many ladders to get up there. And several times you catch that there are archers just stationed up there all the time. Not even in watchtowers, just on the buildings themselves. Some of them see you approach. They don't knock arrows, but they keep an eye on you. There's no gate to enter, so there's no one to convince when you walk in. But you can very clearly tell that people have clocked you. And as you look around, the people around you, you see most of them are human. So your group is immediately clocked as, oh, you have weird servants. So I'll ask the party, what do you intend to do first?
I can't remember. Do we have a name for this town?
Border town.
Border town.
The person who you talked to did not know the name.
Yes, Borderton Iridia. Excellent. We intending to stay here, or
It's going to be real hard to not spend a couple of days to at least get information.
Yes, I think that was the idea.
yeah, Palm with us. Okay, before entering the town, Tushiki would have gathered some information, such as what will be a reasonable amount for someone with servants to spend on an inn.
As
have
you
asked this-
are a fairly large group and your servants seem suspiciously well armed, there is definitely a look of, oh, you must be either very wealthy or very stupid. And some point towards a nicer looking inn off to the side, which will probably cost you a total of 5 gold per night.
Oof. Man, we should take that 400 gold, huh?
Healing cup.
Healing cup. Cool. Tushiki guides Crow along as if they are a couple as best as he can, with the explanation, of course, that the rest will follow. And then asks for a room for him and his wife, and lodgings for their servants.
As you head towards the inn, there's a pause, and she goes, hold on, we have to do something incredibly important, and takes Mira over to a stable first.
Do they not have stables at the inns like in Doveran?
No, if you can tell when we enter, a lot of people looking weird because apparently that's also, I want to make the servant thing look even better because if one of them's carrying one of our stuff, as she hands the mirror to Navali,
Navali will take it.
But with this awkward bickering, it's actually becoming more believable they might be married. They head towards the more expensive inn, and as you go up, you see there are several of Navali's people, all dressed in strange black and white outfits, and clearly doing all the cleaning, cooking, and serving in this inn. Some of them look over towards you. Many of them look over straight towards Navali with some confusion. But as you head towards the innkeeper, who's clearly human, they look at you for a moment, look you up and down, look towards your servants. You are a very brave individual to arm them so well. Have the roads become so dangerous?
Oh, you have not the idea. It is just absolutely terrible. We even saw one of those large childlike creatures. We were lucky to escape.
Huh. Well, of course. Let me get you your rooms. I believe we still have room in the servants' quarters for the rest of your group. That is fine. Clearly, he expectantly waits for 5 gold.
He looks to Navali as if, pay the man.
She'll do that.
With a nod, he gives you a key and then gives a single finger towards what looks to be a much dingier place for the rest of your group. Well,
And-
before they go there, we absolutely need them to bring our stuff upstairs, right, sweetie?
Of course, of course. How else will we refresh ourselves after such a long journey?
Of course. Go ahead and roll deception to Suyuki.
Da, da, da. It's gonna be straight charisma.
You're definitely getting a lot of weird looks. But you head to what appears to be a fairly nice room. There's actually 2 beds, just not just one. There appears to be an actual box that seems to be magically cooled. That's probably very expensive. There's nothing in it, but it exists. A wardrobe, plenty of room. And as you pile everyone in and Crow points towards a corner to put her mirror. This is going to be very awkward. Do we not have a better plan?
Unfortunately, I don't think we do.
Okay. What's the exact plan?
We wait around, get information for the next couple of days, and try to see if we can hear anything about the soldiers who have the Vieran men captive.
Once you know where they are, I'll check inside the building with this. She taps the mirror.
Sounds good. Unfortunately, while we are here, it's not like many of us can just walk around on our own.
Right. One of us will always have to be with you, I guess.
Mhm.
Surely
Yes.
you can perhaps say that you are on an errand. No?
Skern, when we were in Aridia, did we ever go out
No.
without? Yeah, that's what I thought. Unfortunately, I don't think we can just do that.
And I thought Dulveram was strange. Still, you should still be able to move freely within this building, and there were many of your people downstairs.
They are servants. They have no freedoms here.
Was it not a servant who brought you the information in the first place?
I don't think she ever said she... Well, she just said she was from my homeland. Actually, I think that's a good point. They might have some information, but I think we'll still have to be careful.
Of course. But you would be surprised at what's serving staff over here.
Then I will keep my ears open.
Well, as the DM, I will ask, what do you do first?
No one else makes a suggestion. Tushiki will suggest he was actually earnest about washing after the road, and perhaps all of them could do with a bit of a clean. So perhaps they could get a bath brought to the room and use that as a guise to help clean everyone up. If they can get like dividers as well.
You have no issues in doing that.
And perhaps Navali could use this as an opportunity, because she's probably going to be holding the water, to speak to some of her people.
Yeah, I mean, if any of them specifically maybe come to bring the bath up?
They do. One of the things you quickly realize is they do know that your people are very strong, and if there's any manual labor, they make them do it. A very large, honestly, way nicer than you were expecting bath is brought up for you as you ask for it politely so you can wash up. And I assume you give the directions of, no, our servants will be there to help us wash. It's fine.
Yep.
And I'm going to roll something in privately for a moment. Two of the variant people come up carrying this very nicely decorated bath that has already been, one carrying the actual place to put the water, the other carrying a bucket to fill it in. It's very clearly warm water as they fill the bath in front of you. The one, after they put down the bath, who look expectantly, is there anything else you require from us?
Quick question. There's no any like there's it's just like our group and the Viera in here, correct?
Yes.
Is the door closed?
You can make a gesture to close it. They kept it open to move everything in, but it's not that you can't close it.
Okay, I would make a gesture to close it.
One of them nods and closes the door behind them. Now just the group and the two variants.
I believe it is the benefit to my masters that I learn what I can around here. Would you two be able to spare some time and help me understand the way of life here a little more?
Or persuasion with advantage. I want to confirm something.
Yes,
You know thieves can't, correct?
I do.
Okay.
Oh.
There is a pause as the one filling the water kind of looks over to the other and she just nods. Perhaps we can show you where the pantry. Does your masters have a preferred food?
Yes. And if there is anything in particular in their pantry that I might find to their liking, it would be good to know.
There's a foreign delicacy there that I'm sure they will truly enjoy. Navali,
Then- Yes.
I'm going to whisper you something.
Yes. I would be very honored to see the pantry.
She gives a nod. I assume they do not require us for bathing?
No.
Very well. Please come with me.
Navali will follow.
I'll ask if anyone else tries to follow too.
Nope.
I'm just going to take that singular nope as a universal nope.
The
Navali,
universal nope.
Yes.
you are led down the stairs, and then you're led to the kitchen, where they open a door that leads to stairs that go even further down. And you are led through what appears to be an area that is for clear storage of a great deal of food. Dried meats are hung up across the walls, but there's also dried fruit and many root and vegetables off to the side. There's even some storage of pots and pans that are clearly for sometimes use that aren't constant use. And then she knocks on a wall and opens the wall itself and gestures for you to go in.
Navali will do so.
As you do so, the woman follows behind you, closing it behind, and she clears her throat and seems to be speaking loud enough that possibly other people further down this hall might be able to hear. It is quite brazen to wear the protector of the forest armor coming into here. You realize that, yes?
I do. It was a risk, but admittedly, this is the armor that I refuse to take off.
If I may ask, the people in your room, are they allies?
Yes.
She nods. There is much to discuss, but I believe there's someone who would wish to discuss it with you more than I. And she continues to lead you down the hall. And eventually you get to a room that seems darkened. There's some clear candlelight, and you can hear the shuffling of movement, and there's several people there. Though the one that immediately catches your eye is a half-orc who appears to be playing cards with someone, whose eye immediately stares at you, and his mouth goes agape for a second. Well, goddamn! I didn't think I'd see you again. And we'll end there. Yes, that's your mentor.
Yay!
What? That's so cool.